Hello and welcome to this presentation from Pluralsight. My name is Andrew Mallett and I'm here as your instructor to help guide you through starting and stopping your CentOS 7 system. That sounds like a great idea to me. Now of course, as we run through this, we're going to have a list of objectives so you know that we're meeting what we said we were going to meet. And this is going to include booting, rebooting and shutting down your Linux system safely. We'll be taking a look at how we can boot systems into different run levels manually, as well as being able to manipulate the boot system so that we can enter a named run level at boot time. The demonstrations that we're going to include for you within this module are going to see how we can message users and the tools that we use to message our users. We'll be looking at ways that we can shut down and reboot our system. So things, of course, like the shutdown command, but also power off, halt, reboot. We'll be looking at ways that we can change run levels because maybe we don't want to actually reboot the system. Maybe we just want to take it into our single user mode or something like that. So we're going to look at how we can change our run levels as well whilst the system is running. Of course, we can look at setting the default run level, so when our system starts up, it goes into the desired run level. And we'll also be looking at how we can boot to our rescue target, the new name, if you like, for the single user mode, where we're using systemd. And of course, we're basing all of these demonstrations around our CentOS 7.2 system. The first thing we're going to look at, and we'll include it within this clip, is messaging users. So let's move across now onto our console and look at messaging our users. Now you can see I have two windows open in my PuTTY session, one as the user root on server 1 and one as the user tux on server 1. If I wanted to send a message just through to tux, I can use the write command, so I can go through and write tux. We can then see that we get a message saying it's logged on more than once, but we can see then that the message shows. So I can go, can you log off? And we can see then that the message is showing on Tux's terminal. When I finish, I can just use Control-D and that will close the message. In the right-hand window, Tux would just have to hit Enter to clear the screen. If I wanted to send a message to everyone, then I can use the wall command. So I first might go through and create a file. So we might use then, let's say, cat, and we can then send the information out, and we'll say we'll send it out to just to message. But what we're going to send out, we're going to build up the message by reading in till we get to the line end. We can then go through and say the server is coming down at 5 p.m. Ensure all work is saved and you are logged off. Once we're ready with that, then we just put in the word end. This is called my here document, and this then ends my cat. And of course then sends it through to the message file. So if I cat out message now, we can see then that I've got that message set up. We can then use wall, and wall will send to all of our users, and we can read in then the prepared message. So we can see then it goes to all terminals. If we're sending this as root, either with wall or with the command write, then no matter whether or not users have got messaging enabled or disabled, then it will show. Show you what I mean, looking in the Tux terminal on the right hand side of the screen, if I just type MESG, we can see that messaging is enabled at the moment. I can go messaging no, and that means then that messaging is disabled, and we can see this. But if I'm sending a message whilst I'm logged in as root, whether it's through the wall command or whether it's through the write command, we don't care about the permissions that have been granted to the TTY group. And that's really what we're looking at with messaging yes and messaging no, is group permissions. Root has access pretty much through to everything. I just put my messaging back, so we go messaging yes. And of course now when we look at it, messaging is turned on. but as we've seen, whether your messaging is turned on or your messaging is turned off, root can always send messages. The wall command sends messages to all users. The write command sends messages to individual users. Now I think that's enough for one demonstration, don't you? Let's come back in the next clip and we're going to see how we can use some of the shutdown commands.